Have you ever caught yourself saying, "Why is this happening to me? Why can't life just give me a break?" I used to say that every single day until one moment, one really ordinary moment, changed everything. This is the story of how I stopped complaining and started taking my life back. It was a Monday morning, rainy, cold. I was late to work, my shoes were soaked, and my bus didn't show up. Again, I stood at the stop, shivering, muttering under my breath, "Why does this always happen to me?" Right then, a guy next to me, probably in his 60s, looked over and smiled. He said, "Could be worse, son. At least you've got legs to stand on." I laughed awkwardly, but deep down, it hit hard. Here I was, full of complaints. Meanwhile, this man, wet and waiting just like me, was choosing gratitude. That was the seed. The moment that planted the thought, maybe the problem wasn't my life. Maybe it was how I was reacting to it. I didn't notice it at first, but one morning I caught myself mid-rant, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, toothpaste half on my shirt, complaining. Again, I hate how tired I look. I've got too much to do today. The traffic's going to be insane. I just know it. It hit me like a slow punch. I hadn't even left the house, and I was already mad at the world. Every thought was a complaint, like my brain was on autopilot, stuck in default mode. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed and asked myself, what if this is more than a bad day? What if it's a pattern? So I decided on one small rule. For every complaint, I had to respond with either action or gratitude. Hated my job? Apply to just one new company, just one. Tired of my body? Go for a 10-minute walk? Nothing fancy? Feeling hopeless? Write down 3 things I had, no matter how small. A roof, a working phone, a friend who replies to my rants. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it planted a seed. And for the first time, I felt like I was watering change instead of feeding frustration. I bought a cheap notebook from a corner store, nothing special, just lined pages and a black cover. I called it my complaint log, and for 1 week, I wrote down every single time I complained, every single time. Day 1, 9 entries. By day 5, I had 3 full pages about weather, work, my reflection, the world. It was like staring into a mirror of my negativity. That's when I had a wild thought. If I can put this much energy into frustration, imagine what I could do with that same energy directed toward hope. So I kept the notebook, but flipped the script. I started writing small wins, tiny gratitudes, little moments of peace. It became a daily shift from chaos to clarity. This one sounds simple, but it rewired my brain. I changed one phrase from "I have to go to work" to "I get to go to work." From "I have to cook tonight" to "I get to nourish myself." From "I have to study" to "I get to build a future." It wasn't toxic positivity. It was honest perspective. There are people who would give anything to have my burdens. Suddenly, everyday life didn't feel like a sentence. It felt like a gift. For years, I punished myself with unrealistic goals. Go to the gym 5 times a week. Apply to 50 jobs. Be perfect or be nothing. But one day I said, screw perfect. Let's aim for consistent. So I started celebrating micro wins. Sent 1 job application, win. Did 5 push-ups, victory. Ignored the urge to complain when the Wi-Fi dropped. King move. Those tiny moments built momentum, and momentum turned into belief. And belief? That's what changed my life. A few months in, my energy changed. People around me noticed it too. My sister said, "You don't seem as angry anymore." My boss said, "You're calmer now, even under pressure." And me? I was finally showing up for my own life. Less time talking about problems, more time solving them, even in baby steps. The craziest part? My life didn't get easier, but it started to feel lighter. We live in a culture that trains us to complain. Social media, news, even conversations with friends. But here's what I learned. The most rebellious thing you can do is be grateful. When everything feels like a storm, choose to be calm. When life gives you struggle, choose to show up anyway. It doesn't mean you ignore the pain. It means you stop letting it control you, because complaining is a loop. Gratitude is a ladder. So how did I stop complaining? I stopped waiting for life to be perfect. I started focusing on what I could change, and every time I failed, I forgave myself and kept going. Now, it's your turn. Next time you're about to complain, pause, breathe. Then ask yourself, can I act? Can I reframe? Can I be thankful instead? You might not change the world overnight, but you will change your world. And that's where everything begins.